My friend, you got the gospel completely backwards if you think God says, clean up your life and then I'll save you. And Exodus proves it. 400 years, that's how long Israel's been enslaved in Egypt since Joseph died. 400 years. And God's about to reveal something about himself that religion just keeps getting wrong. Look, if you grew up in church, you probably heard Exodus something like this. God gave the 10 commandments so Israel could earn their freedom. That's what I thought so many years growing up Roman Catholic, but it was dead wrong. They're already free when they get the commandments, already rescued, already chosen. The rules, they come after the rescue. This changes things about how we read the Bible. At least I know for sure it did for me. Exodus 3, Moses is literally on the backside of nowhere, murdered an Egyptian, ran away. 40 years of sheep duty. His life's over. And then a bush catches fire and doesn't burn up. And God speaks, quote, I have seen the misery of my people. I have heard them crying. I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them, end quote. Man, that is one of the most comforting passages in the entire Bible to me. He sees our misery, so he comes down to rescue us. But you notice what God doesn't say? He doesn't say, hey, tell them when they're good enough, then I'll consider helping. No, he says, I've seen, I've heard, I'm coming down. And he gives Moses his name. I am who I am, Yahweh, the God who is. Present tense. It's not I was or I will be. I am right now, right in your mess. Fast forward to Exodus 12. 10 plagues have decimated Egypt, and God's about to teach them something that they'll never forget. Every family take a lamb, perfect lamb, kill it, and put the blood on your doorframe. It's not sanitized. Death is coming to every house in Egypt. The only difference is who's dead. The destroyer passes through, sees the blood, passes over. That's why it's called Passover. God literally passes over judgment. But here's what's kind of wild. They eat this meal with their sandals on, their bags packed, ready to run. They didn't even have time for the bread to rise. They're eating unleavened bread forever to remember this night. Because at midnight, Pharaoh breaks. Get out! 600,000 men, plus women and children, maybe 2 million people walking out of slavery. Then Exodus 14, they're trapped. Sea in front, army behind. And Moses says something kind of insane. Quote, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, end quote. Then you know what happens? Water walls, dry ground. They walk through death and come out alive. The Egyptian army, not so much. And they sing Exodus 15, the first worship song in the Bible. They're free. They're God's people. They belong to him. Which brings us to the part that religion gets catastrophically wrong. Exodus 19, they're at Mount Sinai, and before God gives them any commandments, he says this, you have seen what I did to Egypt, how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully, you will be my treasured possession, end quote. Did you see the order there? I already carried you. I already brought you to myself. Now, here's how treasured children live. Chapter 20, the 10 commandments. But look at the very first verse. I always used to just skip it. Quote, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery, end quote. And then comes, quote, you shall have no other gods, end quote. He doesn't say, hey, follow these rules and maybe I'll rescue you at some point. He says, I already rescued you, so don't go back to slavery now. Every command that follows is God saying, this is what freedom looks like. Don't worship idols. They'll enslave you once again. Honor your parents. Family breakdown leads to societal slavery. Don't murder, don't steal. That's Egypt's behavior. Keep the Sabbath. Slaves don't get days off, but you're not a slave anymore. The rules aren't the way into relationship. They're the way to stay in relationship. This is why Jesus makes sense. We're not saved by our works. We're saved for good works. Paul says it perfectly, quote, it is by grace you have been saved through faith, not by works, end quote. Grace first, rescue first, relationship first, then transformation. I've said this before on this channel. I have spent so many years doing it in reverse. Why would I bring anything to God? Why would I try and be a warrior for his cause and his kingdom if I'm a broken, soulless individual, somebody who needs more help than they're worth? All these negative self-thoughts pushed me so far away because I was embarrassed to show my true self to God, when the reality is God knows more than anybody what my true self is. And he just sat there waiting for me to come home. So my friend, here's my question. What rules are you trying to follow to earn God's love? What religious checklist are you grinding through, hoping that it somehow makes you acceptable? Can I tell you something? You're looking at it backwards. God doesn't love you because you're good. You become good because he already loves you. Israel didn't earn their rescue. The blood on the doorframe, it wasn't their blood. The path through the sea, they didn't create it. The victory over Pharaoh, they just stood still and watched. So this week when you read Exodus, and you should, it's wild. When you do, look for these patterns. Grace first, rescue first, love first. Then here's how beloved children live. Because if you're trying to clean yourself up like I was before you come to God, my friend, you're still in Egypt. But if you let him rescue you first, messy, broken, enslaved you, then he'll teach you what freedom looks like. The blood's already on the doorframe. The sea's already parted. The invitation's already given. You just have to walk through. My friend, I'm Adam. If you enjoy this content, it would mean the world if you could subscribe, like, and share the video. All that good stuff. You know the game. Really appreciate you being here. Until next time, onward, and God bless you.